For the next 2 weeks, we're gonna be exploring the New England area, specifically Vermont and New Hampshire, visiting some of the most iconic spots, charming towns, and best hikes to see fall foliage. This has been on our bucket list for a few years now, and we are so excited to check it off our list.
In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know to plan your perfect New England fall colors road trip, so keep watching for the best itinerary and must-know visiting tips.
We just got to Stowe, which is one of the most popular towns in Vermont to visit in the fall.
We're gonna walk around, grab what to eat, stretch our legs. It's been a long couple days in the car getting here.
Yes, we are super excited to explore, but it is also a Saturday afternoon, so
It's gonna be a little busy.
yeah, we're expecting a lot of crowds, but we're excited to see what Stowe has to offer. Sadly, one of the most iconic little photo ops and churches is covered in scaffolding.
Gotta restore it at some point, I guess.
This storefront is so cute. We learned that there actually isn't a ton to do in Stowe itself, besides walking around the main street and popping in some of the local shops. But of course, there's tons to do in the area surrounding it. So we just got to Cold Hollow Cider Mill, which is a very popular cider mill here. We're gonna try some apple cider and some donuts and see what all the hype is about. Yum.
Spiced apple.
Maple syrup. Oh my goodness, this is already so tempting. We haven't even gone to the fresh stuff. There's nothing happening right now in here, but this is where they apparently make all the apple cider. They have all the little steps up here at the top, and then it gets into that little tasting tank, and then you get to taste it. What do you think?
Delicious.
The store is actually pretty huge, and they have so many apple-related products.
I'm about to get some donuts and soft syrup.
What kind of flavor is it? Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
We got cold apple cider, we got maple ice cream creamy, I think is what it's called, and then we got 2 hot apple cider donuts. Gotta taste that. Oh my god, this is so good. Also, Caleb's been eating it, which is why there's so many marks already in it. It's like the consistency of like a Dairy Queen vanilla, but way better, and then like a really rich, really tasty maple flavor. Okay, now Caleb's gonna try the donuts.
Very good.
Is it dense? Describe it.
Not too dense, not too light. Not too sweet.
That little farmer's market was certainly very good.
I'm gonna try mine now. I would agree with you. I think you just said. So we combined the creamy and the donut, which is an option you can order.
Not too combo.
So just a few minutes drive from Stowe, there is one of many covered bridges in Vermont, and that is the Brook Covered Bridge, as you can see behind me. And it is so pretty with all the leaves starting to just change color. And then there's this beautiful little creek, which is probably where it gets its name, down below. But there's literally no one here right now. It is a very popular covered bridge, and there's a lot of like no parking, but there is a tiny little lot like right behind the bridge where you can pull over and take some pictures. This morning we are hiking in Smugglers Notch State Park.
We're doing the Barnes Camp Loop Trail. It's like a mile and a half, maybe a little steep, but supposed to be a good, easy, family-friendly trail to do.
Yeah, I think there's like a section we read in the reviews that's steep, but the rest of it's more of like a boardwalk. Yeah, but it's supposed to be an amazing place to see fall foliage. So beautiful. Oh. I honestly kind of love that it's a foggy morning. I feel like it adds to the fall foliage mood. So this boardwalk is a boardwalk because we're actually walking over wetlands. There's been a few different signs about beavers and moose and fish.
Hopefully we get to see some wildlife.
Yeah, Caleb loves the moose and the beavers. But it looks like it's a quiet morning out there in the river. Is that a river?
Wetland.
The wetland. We're actually hiking a portion of the Long Trail, which until we read this sign, didn't really understand what that was.
It's a 270-mile through hike from the northern border of Vermont to the southern border.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. It literally goes the whole state. So now that we're about halfway through the trail, a majority of it is in the woods, which depending on when you are here for peak foliage or not,
could be great.
Yeah, it could be absolutely stunning. But for us, I think we're a little bit early, at least on this trail. It's very green still. Still really cool, but not anywhere near peak, I would say.
Not quite.
It's also like there's a portion that's along the road after the boardwalk. So if you, depending on the time of year you're here, and you just want to like see some leaves, I feel like you could just do the boardwalk section and get like a majority of the views and stuff without doing the full trail. Mm-hmm. There is a little river crossing. There's no bridge, which for us, we have our waterproof Blundstones on, so we have no problems with that. But depending on how high the river is, we did hear that it can be a little dangerous. So for us, it's pretty low. So just a few minutes down the road is another hike to Bingham Falls.
It's about a half mile to the falls, we think.
Yeah, it's just like a nice little overlook trail. This whole area of Smugglers Notch has tons of just trails and just little scenic overlooks and just a great place to drive around. We made it to Bingham Falls.
Can't really see the falls from where we're at though.
Yeah, we think we need to go climb one of those front rocks, but we thought we might get a better view from back here, but
we were wrong.
We were wrong, yeah. It's really pretty back here though. FYI, the path to get down to the actual waterfall is pretty steep and slick, but it's definitely very doable. Just make sure you have some good durable shoes. We pulled over into the Stowe gondola parking lot because it is gorgeous. All the foliage lighting up the hillside. It's a little dark because it's shaded right now, but we wanted to go up the gondola, but how much was it, Caleb?
$40 a person.
And we are just too cheap for that. We were like, I don't know, $80 to go up in a gondola. It just felt like a little bit much. We're grabbing lunch today from the Trapp Brewing and Beer Hall, which that name sounds familiar.
Family inspiration behind the sound of the music.
Yes, it's the real-life family that moved here after they fled Austria in 1938, and they basically began a lodge, and there's more about the history that you can read right here, but and they have a beer hall. Of course, we had to get the pretzels with the beer cheese, one of our favorite things. Is it good? Is it really fluffy? I'll have to give it a taste. The beer cheese is so good. Almost tastes like a soup. I ordered the chicken schnitzel and Caleb got, what is it called?
A bunch of different kinds of wurst.
He got a lot of bratwurst. I don't remember what the name of the dish is called, but lots of bratwurst. Oh, you got potatoes too? I'm gonna need some of those. Okay, so break down the different bratwurst for me.
So this one's a little spicier and denser. This one's a little more hot dog vibes, and then this is a traditional bratwurst.
Which one's your favorite, if you had to pick?
I like them all. They're all
We are on our way to the Kancamagus Highway. We are driving from where we were in Stowe, Vermont to New Hampshire to do this drive. It's a very scenic drive. We're gonna spend all day driving and hiking and exploring all the little pit stops along the way.
The colors have been very popping so far on our drive, so we're hoping it stays that way.
It has been an absolutely gorgeous drive, even just to get to the scenic highway, as Caleb said. So we are so excited. We just stopped at our first stop on the Kancamagus Highway, which is the Lincoln Woods Trailhead.
It's got a couple bridges that go over the river and has lots of beautiful fall colors.
There is also obviously a trail. I think it's about 9 miles. We may start it, but I don't think we're gonna do the whole thing just because time purposes, and there's lots more places to stop. Wow, it's so colorful.
Admiring all the fall colors.
It is almost peak, if not peak already. The colors are popping. It is so gorgeous.
Lots of vibrant colors everywhere. Lots of red, and yellows, and oranges, and
It is so beautiful. Oh my gosh, cannot get over. I'm so happy. I love the fall foliage. So there's tons of scenic overlooks where you can just take in the views, and the first one is already so gorgeous, but we've heard they just get better and better. Fourth or fifth overlook. They look pretty similar, but they're all, I think, worth stopping. They're just quick pull-offs, and they're all really beautiful. So we're currently at Sabbaday Falls, but we decided to take a little snack break because we were very hungry. So we have some local Vermont cheese and then just like yogurt and some crackers. We always travel with a cooler full of snacks because a lot of places that you go, or we go, are pretty remote and they don't have a lot of food options. So like the Kank Highway doesn't have any sort of resources like gas, food, water, anything on the actual highway. So you either need to get it before in Lincoln or before in Conway you begin. And if you're planning on spending a whole day like us, driving around, going on some hikes, and doing some scenic overlooks, then you'll definitely want to pack some food with you to make sure that you don't get a little hangry when you're out exploring.
starting the hike to Sabbaday Falls. It's about 0.3 one way, so 0.6 round trip. Hopefully it's pretty.
And it is very busy. We're currently standing at the top of the falls. You can kind of see them. And then there's like a staircase and a path that leads down to the bottom, so you can see it all. We just got to the Rocky Gorge scenic area.
It's about as the name described. It's very rocky and very scenic.
Beautiful fall colors along the water. We have just been walking along a trail, kind of seeing what we find and discover, but I believe there are a few like longer trails here as well. We are currently at the the lower falls, which is, I don't know, a few minutes down the road from Rocky Gorge Scenic area. And if you only have time for one, I probably recommend the Rocky Scenic Gorge area, but you could really just do one of the two because it's pretty similar and this waterfall is a little bit smaller. Just got to Albany Covered Bridge, which is our last stop for the day.
It's been quite the day, full of stops and adventures.
Yeah, we've had some incredible views. So this marks the end of our journey down the Kank Highway.
It's been a fun little, almost full day adventure, seeing lots of different scenic points and fall foliage.
Yes, I definitely recommend at least a half day, not a full day, because there's so much to see and do while driving along the highway. This morning we are hiking in Franconia Notch State Park and we are hiking the Artist Bluff Trail.
It's about a 1.5 mile loop up to an overlook, and there's beautiful trees all around, so it should be good views.
Yeah, it should be awesome. This is a very popular trail, so you've probably seen pictures of it at some point if you've been wanting to come on a New England road trip in the fall. That being said, we are hiking early in the morning on a weekday, and the parking lot is basically empty. There's like 4 cars here, so just keep that in mind. But if you want to come on a weekend,
Plan ahead.
yeah, expect a lot of crowds. So if your schedule allows, something we always recommend is hiking early in the morning on a weekday. That's to avoid crowds, and honestly you usually get a little bit better cooler temps.
Or if you can't do that, as early as you can on the weekend works too.
But one thing we've noticed is that the mornings here tend to be super foggy. This is actually the first morning, knock on wood, we're not at the top yet, that we'll actually be able to see views. Usually everything has been fogged out for, I don't know, 20 to 100 feet in front of us, depending on where we've been. So that's something to keep in mind if you do plan to do a hike with a view or have anything with substantial views. Just be prepared that fog seems to be pretty typical here in the mornings. If you do the trail clockwise, you go down a lot further than you would think before you get to this viewpoint. And then there's a little offshoot, so make sure you don't miss it. We made it to Artist Bluff. It's super windy up here.
A little chilly.
It's super chilly, but the colors are stunning. So if you come up clockwise, you'll come out of this trail and you just kind of make a turn and go back this way. And that's over here is where the rock with the view is. And then now we're going back down the other way. After spending a few days in New Hampshire, we actually drove back into Vermont, but this time we drove a few hours south to visit the Woodstock area. Today we are exploring Woodstock, Vermont.
Another quaint fall town with a cute main street, so we're gonna walk around and see what we can find.
Yeah, grab some breakfast, and then I think there's a cute farm that has some local products that we're gonna check out. Woodstock is so cute. I honestly think I already like it better than Stowe. What do you think?
I think so. We see a lot of cute little shops that we are excited to get in when they open.
Yeah, we got here a little early and the town doesn't really wake up until about 10 a.m. So we're gonna go back and, like you said, go into the shops. But right now we're just wandering about and they have the cutest houses and churches and just little inns everywhere. So this is such a cute town. I highly recommend Woodstock. Houses here are just so cute and picturesque. This is seriously one of our favorite towns that we've walked around in since we've been to New England. Love it. We just got to Sugarbush Farm and heard there's lots of local goods, and honestly, I don't really know what else farm stuff, but we're excited to check it out. Oh my goodness, they have the most beautiful horses with the most colorful fall backdrop. It's so picturesque here.
I have no idea, Sierra.
Thank you.
First one I got is called Amber Rich, made early in the season. My favorite. Flip it over.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Oh my gosh.
Is it good?
It's so delicious.
Next one I got for you guys is called Dark Robust. So
Oh my
this is
gosh.
the end of the season. Give you a little comparison of, and it's just Mother Nature decides what it's going to be when it comes out of the machine. Everybody thinks I cook it longer to make it darker.
the way it is.
It's the way it is.
Which one do you like more?
It's the mystery.
I think the first one. That one's delicious though too.
I think I like the second one more.
I have them both.
Mountain Jack.
Getting some cheese samples. We just got someone walked in the door over there.
Just smoky crawfish. It's smoked over
What do you think?
It's really good.
hickory and maple.
Oh, yum.
Tried that.
I think we're gonna get a mini of each of the ones we sampled because it was so good. They have lots of different options and sizes with everything that they make here at the farm. They make all of the maple syrup on property on the farm, which is super cute. There's a trail where you can go and see where they actually get the sap from in the trees. And we're about to go tour the sugar house to learn more about how they make the maple syrup. They're big into pure maple syrup, of course. So they have displays of all these other brands that are imitation maple syrup instead of the real stuff.
We don't have any of that in our household anymore. What a filter press does.
What does a filter press do?
It's just hot syrup through filters to filter out the sugar, sand.
That's a good surprise.
Make it smoother.
What's over here?
Talk about the seasons.
Best seasons to harvest syrup?
What happens in each season.
In this sugar mill, it has a calendar of literally all the days that they make maple syrup. And I guess they still use this machine and everything.
They sure do.
Oh my gosh.
1 quart of syrup takes 4.5 buckets of drained tree sap.
So this 1 carton of maple syrup takes all of those buckets in order to make it, to filter it out and make it pure maple syrup. Today we are hiking to Artutha Falls. I believe that's how you say it.
It was not on our original itinerary for today, but we got to the Mount Willard Trailhead parking lot and it was
Insanity.
chaotic.
Literally hundreds and hundreds of cars parked everywhere. It is a Sunday afternoon, gorgeous day. It's gorgeous weather and it's, I think, peak weekend here.
Yeah.
So understandable.
So we changed it up and went to the falls, and we're gonna have a great day.
Yeah, normally we start really early in the morning, but with the way our itinerary was and where we were coming from, we could only get here by midday. So we were braving the crowds and hopefully they're not too bad, and this waterfall hike is just as beautiful as we hope it is. This trail is part of Crawford Notch State Park, so you do have to pay. There is a fee envelope. Just put some cash in it, and then you put it in the fee box, which is down by the trailhead. So we think that all these green trees, or green leaves that we're seeing, they've changed on the top of the trees to red and orange, because there's lots of red and orange leaves below, but not necessarily around us right now.
High though.
Yeah, and when we drive around, we see a lot of color. Cute little bridge, a little waterfall. We made it to Artutha Falls.
Quite tall, honestly.
It's very tall. I don't know if I can get it all in this frame. It's super pretty. We just got to the Flume Gorge, which is a super popular thing to do here. It's about 2 miles and takes about an hour and a half to go around the whole loop.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what all they have, but lots of pretty photo spots, I'm sure.
We do know there is a covered bridge and lots of waterfalls and gorges. Also, they do recommend that you get advanced reservations. You have to get a timed entry reservation if you make a reservation in advance. Otherwise, you can just show up and get a ticket. But a lot of days like today, it's completely sold out, especially on weekends and during the popular foliage season. So definitely recommend making an advanced reservation. both, at least the beginning part, is through the woods on like a gravel path. And then I think we're slowly making our way to the Flume section, which is where the rocks and the gorges are, and kind of the iconic boardwalks with all the sights. We're just starting to see the river that goes back into the gorge area. Super pretty. What do you think?
Getting cool.
This is getting to the good part. This is so cool. We're just like walking on the rock wall and a wood paneled path up against the rock. It's so cool. So it seems that a majority of this trail, the 2-mile trail, is in the woods, and everything but maybe, I don't know, a 10.2 miles is on that wooden planked kind of covered area through the gorge itself. Okay, so our honest thoughts on Flume Gorge. Caleb, you want to go first?
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Hiking inside the Flume was cool. It's basically a similar type waterfall to the other one we did the other day.
Yeah, a few of the hikes we've done actually.
You get to hike inside of it, which is cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Just above it.
I would say if you're doing other trails during your trip, I don't know if this is worth it because I felt like it was really similar to a lot of the other stuff like Caleb mentioned. And you do have to pay. I think we paid $18 or $20 per person.
Yeah.
So I think it was like just under $40 a person. Obviously it's timed entry, so it's a little bit more
Stressful.
yeah, it's more like people funneling and everybody at the same viewpoint at the same time kind of vibe. We have heard that during the weekdays during the morning is the best time to go, or the last hour before close. We did visit in the last hour before close. I can't tell you what it's like at 2 p.m., but it was definitely still very crowded at 4 p.m. Gotta cross over some train tracks. There's a scenic train that goes here, and in the middle of the day this area is absolutely crazy with people, but we are here just after sunrise and there's only about 10 other cars here. This morning we are hiking the Mount Willard Trail. It's about 3 miles round trip and it's up to a super beautiful scenic viewpoint where you can kind of see, I think it's like down a valley and see lots of fall foliage.
I tried to do it the other day, but there was about 1,000 people here.
No joke.
We canned it and came back on a weekday at 7 a.m. and there's no one here.
Yes, definitely recommend getting here early and doing it on a weekday if you can. As Caleb mentioned, weekends are insane, and even just driving by the trailhead gave us too much anxiety. We were like, no, we're gonna come back a different day. Mount Willard! The colors are definitely, I believe, at peak. It is so colorful. And honestly, some of the leaves have already started to fall off the trees. There's tons on the ground. The weather is absolutely freezing this morning. It's in the high 30s, which is by far the coldest temps we've had on this entire trip. It's mostly been in the 50s and 60s, but we know we are going to quickly warm up on the trail. It's so beautiful, all the bright yellows. I feel like so many of the trails we've been hiking, the leaves haven't turned this low. They've all been turned at the top. It is so beautiful. Trail is super foggy this morning. It was a clear sky when we were driving in, but now that we've been in the woods, it's been super foggy and we've basically just been climbing up tons and tons of rocks, slowly making our way to the top. Well, We made it to the top. And sadly, it's all fogged out. We can't see a thing. It's supposed to be such a clear day, and it was literally clear the whole drive. But then I think we're just literally this one area is in a cloud, because everywhere we look, like around us, outside of that is a blue sky. But right here, it is solid white cloud fog. But the sun is about to peek over one of the mountain ridges. So hopefully maybe it'll dry up the fog and we'll get to see a view. But we'll wait a few minutes while we're up here just to see if anything changes. But sad. It appears the sun has only made it worse. We can see even less than we could when we got up here.
Hopefully, it changes.
How long do you think we're gonna wait?
As long as we can, I guess. We're already up here, might as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Because I'm sure by the time we get down, it's gonna be totally clear. Because that's how it works, isn't it?
Usually.
Just imagine like a little valley with some mountains and lots of red and orange and colorful fall colors. Well, we've waited about 30 minutes. 45. We've waited about 45 minutes, and it's only gotten worse and worse and worse. Can't even see the blue sky really above us at all anymore. Well, we've officially waited
An hour.
And it is still completely fogged out. We've walked around to different areas on the peak, and it's all just a white cloud. We kept getting moments of some blue sky and getting hopeful, but alas, we don't think it's gonna clear, at least anytime soon.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, so we're gonna hike back down, and I don't know, maybe try again, maybe not, but regardless, hopefully you have much better luck whenever you hike this trail.
Hey there, we're Sydney and Caleb. We share our wildly adventurous life to help others plan their next adventure through practical travel itineraries, outdoorsy tips, and relatable content. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and hit that subscribe button below to stay up to date on all the latest adventures.